Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen with an organisation spotlight for BSI, Black Star Initiative. Org Spotlight aims to find the right players for an org and the right org for a player in Star Citizen's persistent universe. BSI is a massive lawful PMC, private military company, focused on largely bounty hunting and security, but with other roles to fill too that support the self-sustainability of the org. They are active on Star Citizen daily, around all time zones. They are suitable for new and veteran players alike. They run training sessions and organise various in-game events regularly. If you're looking for a well-established org with structure and a developed community, and you like the idea of their escort security and or bounty hunting focus, then BSI may well be for you.
So, as the largest PMC around the verse, BSI finds itself in somewhat of a unique position to protect players and their interests throughout the verse. And though we'd like to see people join our ranks, for those who simply want a pilot covering their six, BSI would be proud to have their backs and guarantee service that could cover any wide range of jobs one might need. So we would ask that people consider us should they need any assistance throughout their endeavors.
Who are you, and what is your role in your org?
Okay, I'm Harkin, and I'm currently an officer and advisor within the org. As part of the leadership, I act to facilitate things for our membership base.
And I'm Chris Lade. I'm a fleet admiral and one of the two leaders of BSI.
Okay, so can you give me a brief rundown of what BSI sort of like is all about, its purposes and goals, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, sure. In short, Black Star Initiative is basically a lawful PMC type organization with a strong emphasis on combat. Our goal is pretty much to dominate the field of security, contracting in every respect, and obviously have a good time getting there.
So you say you're lawful and you're doing the lawful aspect of bounty hunting and security. Do you have any idea what form that's going to take, or how do you envision that sort of gameplay playing out?
Well, we consider the broad field, so all kinds of bounties, all kinds of combat and protection, as long as it works under UEE law. So strictly gameplay-wise, it's lots of piloting, running, gunning, and crewing cap ships. Though we also very much support civilian sectors. I mean, what good is a weapon if you can't sustain it or you have no reconnaissance showing you where to point it? So in that sense, not only do we encourage our civilian sectors, but we also strive to make sure that they run at peak efficiency and that the members operating such fields have a blast whilst engaging in them.
Yeah, like Harkin said, basically bounty hunting security is not the only field we want to expand into. Mining, logistics, and trade will obviously be a huge benefactor to support every military operation. So we plan to build up a healthy and strong internal economy as well. And with our member base so far, we strongly believe that we have a good foundation to achieve that, actually.
So when we're talking about UEE law, as you mentioned there, does that mean you're going to be mainly operating in UEE sectors, or will you try and enforce the more strict UEE laws outside of that as well, so in other systems that may not have so much of a UEE presence?
Well, I think it's price dependent, really. I mean, I can see it where BSI protects within UEE space, and that the price is reflected upon that factor. However, if we're delving into more dangerous territory, I can definitely see BSI perhaps ramping up the price, but also the level of security that we provide during these, within these sectors.
So, do you have any idea of how much of your gameplay is going to be PvP orientated versus PvE orientated? Are you more going to be going after players, or does it not matter to you? Or are you avoiding PvP combats?
Well, we aim to offer a satisfying experience when dealing with either, really. I mean, PvP is, of course, the most dangerous game, and that we take it seriously, but not in the sense of training every member to be an expert pilot. Instead, we make sure that seasoned officers lead, and we ensure that the enlisted know how to protect themselves in the event of a war. Those who've kept up with CIG will also know that the developers, I think, they intend to have the verse be made up of 90% NPCs and the remaining 10% players. Thus, PvE will also be of sizable importance, given its rate of occurrence and its likeliness to present more immediate rewards and benefits, for example. So when you think about NPCs and their guilds, the reputation and what that affords, we're all talking about that PvE aspect of the game, which we're trying to invest in as well. But still, we allow members to pick their focus, and we strive to ensure that they succeed in whichever mission they actually embark upon.
What kind of players are the sort of like looking for then? If you had to describe a player type that you were after and what role they'd fill, I mean, I know it's going to be bounty hunting and security centric, but is that all? You said there was some other industry and stuff going on in the background as well. But what sort of players are you looking for? And what roles are they filling?
Well, pretty much every reasonable adult, I should say, with a legitimate interest in Star Citizen. We're an exclusive org. We're 18 plus, and we're lawful. I mean, that being said, that is the crux of it, really. And that we have a combat focus, we also value industry and exploration as a means to sustain that. But yeah, I mean, as I said, every reasonable adult.
And how would you deal with an orc member that breaks the rules, that becomes criminal?
Just shoot them on the spot? No, I'm kidding. Well, it depends, really. I mean, there are different types of infractions, right? So, if we have someone who, for instance, is just trolling a bit, we might have them sit out of the next mission. Whereas if we have someone who is constantly rule breaking, then perhaps a suspension and, finally a ban. I mean, we are a 1,500 member org, so banning cannot be out of the question, but still, we try and integrate people as much as possible.
And is the org roleplay focused?
Yeah, we're not a dedicated roleplay org. We don't object to it. So if members want to roleplay, they are welcome. If someone wants to self-organize an roleplay activity, it is totally fine, but we don't pursue it as an org in its own.
Yeah, I mean, we have a bit of lore written about BSI's founding and, the early years. And in the past, we even had some documents put out that also worked in fiction. Even some of our fly-togethers have a bit of story to them. So a hostage rescue mission, for instance, will have a backstory that is quite immersive. So though, whilst members that roleplay are very welcome to do so, it's nothing we push our members towards or put much effort into as an org at the present moment. But, still, I mean, you ask most role players, and I'm sure they'll likely say that role playing is all about immersion. So, though we don't really have a roleplay focus, I sometimes wonder about running to, say, a battle station after the ship captain has declared, say, the appearance of a Vandal threat. I mean, how can someone not feel immersed in that experience, right? I reckon with Star Citizen, with FOIP and its enticing graphics and its lore, it's gonna become quite difficult to distinguish between role players and non-RPers.
So you said 1,500 people. What's the size of your org currently, and what sort of maximum size do you have in mind for your org, if you could grow it to any number?
Yeah, recently we surpassed the 1,500 member count, as you said. Right now we have no cap in mind for the org population, as of yet. So as long as we pretty much have a sustainable growth and we're able to ensure that the members feel at home and are not lost in a crowd, we don't really see a reason to halt the recruitment efforts as well.
What sort of structures there with that? And you said you don't want people lost in the crowd. Is there a proper command structure that's also growing as well, with more and more people, or is it sort of like people more put themselves forward for command and to organize stuff? How's that work?
Well, we have a variety of different structures within the org, and they're just trying to facilitate the gameplay experience, really. So recently we have come out with our ranking system for the military. Some of the ranking system depends on certifications. They tend not to be mandatory, but they allow people to sort of better fit into certain roles. As far as the administration, though, we have staff groups. So we'll have one, for instance, that is in charge of recruitment, one that's in charge of diplomacy, human resources, and basically they all have their own functions, which allow us to streamline the experience within the organization.
So can you give me a quick rundown of your recruiting process then? And the sort of like, I suppose, expectations of your members?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So to apply to be a member of BSI, people can go and apply to our org page. I'm sure a link will be at the bottom of your video. The application itself, it inquires as to why prospective members wish to join, and it gives us a better sense of where they might best excel, say where to allocate them, all whilst ensuring, which is very important to us, that the candidate is UEE friendly and over the age of 18. It should be noted as well that we are an exclusive org in the sense that potential recruits must have BSI set as their main. However, they're allowed to have affiliates indefinitely. We take no issue with that.
And time zone wise, is that sort of like covering all time zones?
Definitely. We have people from Australia, from Germany, from Brazil, Canada, US, Russia. I mean, we basically covered the entire map.
I noticed there was some information on training on your org page. So, how training focused is the org? Is it enforced? Is it encouraged? Is it regular?
Recently, we brought out a new training system. We currently offer basic game control training and basic pilot training, as well as a weekly combat scenario with some aspects of the training set as a focus. Later, we will offer training for every role and specialty as they get implemented. Right now, the system doesn't have a lot of that going, sadly. However, none of our activities are mandatory. So we simply encourage participation to those members with time available to them. And after all, I think most would agree that learning to shake someone off one's tail, completing an emergency landing, knowing when to shoot and when to utilize the plasmatic pen are all things worthy of knowing, especially if you're part of a PMC. So we do really put time into our trainings and try to roll them out efficiently.
So, it is appropriate for entirely new players as well, the org, veterans and new players.
Yes.
Definitely, yeah.
And what are your plans, gameplay wise, or for the org with the rest of the year? So we've got obviously Star Citizen now 3.3 and 3.4. How's that going to change what sort of activities the org are involved in?
So we've put out some training manuals, and we plan to further implement more training manuals, really, especially with the new and hopefully closer to finalized flight model coming out in 3.4. I'd say that adding more types of specialist pilot training and possibly infantry training would definitely be on the docket for us. I think it's no secret that we want to expand upon our training, especially with the game becoming ever more stable and larger in scale, right? So our combat scenarios are likely going to become more complex and to grow in size. So ultimately, we hope to continuously increase the variety of events available to our members, both friendly and competitive. And, as other mechanics are implemented, we hope to offer events based around them as well. So medical gameplay and salvage and all the like, we'll diversify as Star Citizen does, really.
And sort of like ship selection at the moment, do you have a good range of capital ships for all members to get involved with as well? For players that do want to, pilot javelins or get involved with that sort of multi-crew experience that might not be able to unless they join an org?
I think I can safely say that we offer all of them, really. Collectively, we have a crowd-funded org account with ships, and it allows our members to take charge of them for org use. We also have individuals who went above and beyond obtaining capital ships for personal and org use. Of our crowd-funded capital ships, though, I'd say the Javelin and the recently added Kraken, they probably stand out the most. Though we also possess Idris's more combative fighter base, Pioneers, Endeavors for the rear line, and many sub-capital combat ships too.
Discord activity, how active is your org? What sort of stuff do you get up to? Tell me about the Discord.
All right, so We have an active Discord, members on every day, either playing Star Citizen or a myriad of other games. We hold training sessions as per availability and support members in finding others to play with for both Star Citizen and other popular games. Our weekly Fly Together combat scenario has a long tradition. It's been the main event of the week, where we plan out a situation like a hostage being taken on a Starfarer, with one team trying to free them, another trying to defeat the rescuers. And, even when we're not playing Star Citizen, we often find that Star Citizen still becomes a recurring theme in our games too. A good example of this would be in Arma 3, where BSI actually fully mapped out an Idris and practiced FPS tactics within and around the ship. So anything to get closer to our beloved Star Citizen, really. So I guess I'd also like to mention that we are part of PACT. PACT it stands for Powers Against Common Threats. It's an interorganizational initiative developed to provide security against piracy, hostile aliens, and any other force that might overwhelm a solitary member. So today, PACT encompasses a group of organizations that together represent a significant population of Star Citizen and continues to grow. So with this new organization joining, we've let me just cut back a little bit, sorry. So today, PACT encompasses a group of organizations that together represent a significant population of Star Citizen, and it continues to grow, with new organizations joining every month. So all organizations who meet the entry requirements are welcome to apply for membership, and we would extend the invitation if they would like to do so.
Right. Basically, the combat roles are obviously the main focus, being a PMC. But especially with cap ships, we strongly believe that piloting and commanding a cap ship, people need a diverse skill set to really bring out the true potential for that. But you can't efficiently fight with only combatants, so we also support the civilian professionals such as explorers, engineers, medics, and so forth. Essentially, we are absorbed in task of forming an efficient symbiotic relationship between those who fight and those who need the protection to exceed at the jobs. So we really try to not leave anyone behind if they're really want to do their thing within the verse. Pretty much, we have a whole division set up for 3 or 4 main gameplay areas within the Citizen. Main one obviously being the military division, but like we mentioned before, logistics, trading, and exploration are the other big divisions. And obviously, people don't want to do the one thing all the time. So we give them the possibility to fluidly switch between the divisions. Each division will have its own ranking system. And so if you are, let's say, a commanding officer in one division, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a commanding officer in another division, but you're absolutely enabled to be in both and basically try out stuff as well. But yeah, you will have like a main division, and then you can dabble in whatever else you like. We just want to say that if anyone has any questions for us, we're always free and happy to talk to people, be it on our Discord or in Spectrum. There will always be people to respond and to interact with, and we're happy to answer all your questions. And as an org in a whole, we obviously strive to achieve the 3 almighty Bs, beer, bacon, and Bengals. So you're welcome to help us achieve that.
If I might too, yeah. I mean, I'm not one to join many orgs or even to hop from one game to the other. But when I was looking for an org to join, a friend of mine gave me, Black Star Initiative as a reference. And since joining, I haven't ever looked back, not even once. When I think of BSI, I think of an org that genuinely cares about its members and that is always pushing to better itself. And the sheer dedication I've seen from our own members and staff engaging in voluntary projects, making newcomers feel welcome and just going above and beyond in general, it reaffirms my choice in BSI 10 times over. And my hope is that those listening in will actually have the chance to experience that, which I've come to experience. So, I mean, if you'd like to work your way up the ranks, pilot or even command, the mighty javelin, that choice is yours. And it's dependent solely on your merits. And if you want to be a lone miner in some desolate asteroid belt or a marine aboard a patrol vessel, we want you to know that we'll have your back. And to me, that's BSI in a nutshell. And I hope to see you there.
Yeah, my initial plan in Star Citizen was to be the classical lone guy, but nowadays I wouldn't want to miss Black Star Initiative at all. It sounds cheesy, but it definitely enriched my life in some terms.
Aww.
My radar have provided a new Anvil Valkyrie to give away. All you need to do is to be subscribed to my YouTube channel and then comment on any of my Star Citizen videos made during October. My Radar is a mobile app for iOS and Android that provides up-to-the-minute weather information in the US, Europe, and Japan, with service in Australia coming in by the end of 2018. It allows Star Citizen players to view detailed maps of the moons in-game as well, Yela, Selin, and Daymar. A new version will be released this month that includes new features, including outpost markers and updated maps. Also, if you're looking to get or upgrade a gaming PC, then consider Shadow instead. Shadow is a subscription-based cloud gaming PC service that can turn most devices, phone, laptop, PC, tablet, and more into a powerful gaming PC via the internet. Links to more info in the description for that, and if you do decide to try it, then use the code BoredGamer to get a discount on the service.